So I'm going to start by running you through the level 1, level 2 and 3 basic list. So I've started by obviously having a suitable menu system, so everything slides in, slides out, nice and cool. Through the menus, obviously we got the inventory sort of section, we got the level select. Obviously all the levels are unlocked right now because I've been playing on this account, and we've obviously got the story mode, we've also got Facebook and stuff that I will show you in a second. So obviously it does work on a mobile device as tested on Android 11 and Android 12, and obviously it runs on the simulator fine. So my monetization strategy, so let's go to edit player. So obviously I've got gold. This account's got loads of gold, so we can buy everything. So I've got 3 different items you can buy right now, which is white smoke, lightning, or rainbow puke. These are like 3 things. They cost different amounts, obviously, because some of them are better, some of them are worse. So let's attach the lightning. I've got a buy gold system. This at the moment just runs dummy logic, so like right now, buy, it adds the money back. I've also got an ad watching system, so you click that, you'd watch an ad for so long and then you close it, and then obviously adds 5 gold, so you can buy more things in the store. Obviously this is the inventory, this is where you equip objects, so I've got 3 items at the moment. I've equipped the middle one, which is lightning, which will make the bullets have like a lightning bolt behind them. So let's go out of there. So UI and functionality on mobile devices. So I've tried to keep all the buttons down low that I want the player to use often. They're also big, tried to center them, and then obviously some of them pop if I've not claimed my daily reward yet, it pops. Stuff like that. So obviously maintain an optimal frame rate on mobile device. So I've tested it on a 5-year-old flagship phone now, so it's quite old. It runs nice and smooth. I did have problems before I did object pooling, but I went in and did a bunch of object pooling because the particles were taking so long to load. So now it works good. So obviously design patterns are an important part, and it's something that you said you want to see on the list. I've added it to the TDD at the bottom, so you can go through and have a read of everywhere I've used my design patterns. I can also obviously show some code or the design patterns, where what's one I would pick. My wave spawner. Once it's over, it sends out a little message to the end round script, and the end round script then starts checking. I have classed this as an observer pattern, because it starts observing how many enemies are left in the game once obviously all of them are spawned. So next, level 2, multiple playstyles and difficulty progression mechanics. So I'll show you. So obviously level 1's nice and easy, so I've already got loads of upgrades because I've played the game a bunch, so going back to these levels makes it nice and easy. So obviously you see the lightning behind. At the moment I've got a minigun with twin shot enabled on it, so I got another minigun, even faster. I'll upgrade my movement speed. So Jesus, I'm kind of destroying level 2. So obviously the game gets harder throughout, so that's level 2. I'll leave and go to like level 9 and show you. But basically there is 6 different guns, all with unique firing methods, and basically it gets harder and harder, more enemies. So this one actually is got triple boss threat. They've got 3 different firing modes, these bosses: the lasers, the wave shot, and if you get nice and close it's like a circular shot and you take a lot of damage. Let's get through him. Awesome. That's the end of stage 1 is what I'd call it, with 3 bosses. So that is good, but obviously I've balanced it so more enemies, and obviously loads of upgrades are along the way to make the player feel powerful and feel like they can actually complete the level. Obviously that was still close with a ton of upgrades, so I hope I've got the balance correct. So obviously there is data analytics and capturing. So I use obviously Facebook implementation in the game. So the Facebook implementation obviously gives me access to their gaming profile, avatar, stuff like that. And I have also done their email. I don't save it anywhere. It's just something that you have to do to request permissions. So I've done that. So literally, I just get their name, their like ID sort of number, and their profile picture. I will try and show you now. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. If I go here, I can log in. This is how you do it in the developer, but on the app, obviously, the Facebook app just comes up and you click it, so my name and my profile picture comes up. All good. So I actually use this for the scoreboarding system down here. Obviously, these are other people that have played on it, and then you can add yourself to the list, and it will update what level you're on and stuff. That is done using Loot Locker, which is like a API that allows you basically just to save tables and a bunch of data and then access it really easily and really quickly by just calling it. So obviously that is the current Loot Locker. Finally, I've also got app notifications. So I use Firebase for this one. So I send a daily notification at the moment, but obviously you can start new campaigns, which is just like sending out notifications. At the time, I can see how many people sent opens and obviously how many people conversion. At the moment, it just sends one out 5 o'clock every day going, your daily reward is ready. And that's the time it resets. So apart from that, I will go back to my list of things to get through. 1 second. Oh no. There we go. So that's the analytic data. Obviously, I have local saves. I use PlayerPrefs, but obviously PlayerPrefs only saves stuff like ints and strings. So I use a serialization method to save my stuff. If I find it, can you save player stats? So more complex things go into a serializer that loads and unloads the files. So it's like the gun class. You couldn't save that in PlayerPrefs, but I actually serialize it to a string and then obviously break it down and then build it back up once the player needs to load it again. It makes using saved data a lot easier than having to write it to a notepad or anything like that because PlayerPrefs is built into Unity. It also means during updates all of the data comes along with you and you never lose anything, which is really good. And it makes testing the game really nice and easy because I can obviously just go through to... Let's unplay the game. I can obviously just go edit, clear PlayerPrefs, and I get a fresh new set of the game like I was a new player. So yeah, that's good. So let me just go back to the main menu. So obviously it saves level. I can show you that now. So this is a new account. So if I went to level select, there won't be any levels there. Oh no. And the player obviously has to complete the level to be able to select it. Implementation of in-app purchases or delivery systems. I believe I've already showed this. It uses dummy logic at the moment, but this is the pricing mechanics I'd go for. Obviously the smallest one costing the most per gold sort of thing, and then like £4 getting you 1,000 is crazy good. So hopefully people will go for like the middle or higher. That's sort of the role. I've also got ad watching system for very small amounts of gold, but after like 4 or 5 ads you give them a small prize or something to keep them doing it. That would be good. Retention mechanics, I've added a daily reward system, so if you come down here, obviously I've not claimed it today now, so I can go and claim my free reward, and obviously it increases over each day, and once you're above day 5 you get 20 gold a day if you keep coming back, which will add up quite quickly over like a week period or something like that. Configurable game settings, I have settings in the game, so I've obviously got music, I got sound effects for all the guns, I have blood, which is disabled by default. So let's say someone accidentally plays the game, they don't see blood everywhere, but you can enable it. And then we've also got haptic for every time you take damage, it vibrates your phone a little bit. So finally we're going on to level 3. So UI scalability and generation. Obviously, let's start playing the game. I can show you. So basically the UI scales. Not only have I like used anchor points, I have used like a lot of spawning based off of like what level the player's on and stuff like that. So let's just get through this first level. That should be good. And then let's do level 2 as well. Let's do twin shot. There we go. We got more bullets now. Let's add the minigun as my secondary. Let's go. We're just obviously introducing each different AI. So there's 3 different AI. One of them doesn't really get introduced to the latter half of the game. It has like a wiggling shot, so I've got 2 sets of firing mode. Let's go back to the main menu now. I'll show you, like, obviously we've completed 2 levels, so obviously you can now play level 2 and go back and play it, but obviously this just keeps adding every time we do, and obviously I'm going to add hopefully more stages in the future, which would be good. So at the moment there's 10 levels in there for the player to play. Obviously I've had to use plugins, so I used obviously Loot Locker, Facebook, and Firebase's plugins. I can grab them now. So this is the Facebook one. Obviously you need to set up it and initialize it, and then on my Facebook sharing feed, obviously when it shares this link on the player's feed, so it shares my website. Come play this game, it's really fun, and then a picture of the game. So the player, this is when you press this. It doesn't work on the editor mode, but on phone it does. That's all good. Obviously I've got this leaderboard. This uses the Facebook implementation. And then adds obviously your level to the big list. I believe we're just finished level 2, so I believe we are 4W992KV. But obviously if you log in, instead of doing your guest username, which is displayed up here, it will do your Facebook username. Let's show you the Facebook login. So let me just grab my access token real quickly. And I'll shoot in. Oh, I can't see. Let's shoot in there. And obviously now I'm Chris, and it will load my Facebook profile picture there, and all of that fun stuff. That is good. So I'll just quickly go over some of the interesting code that I've done. So obviously there's the wave spawner. It loops through and spawns the enemies. So I've made it so that if you go to, let's say, level 1, so let's go, oh, I've not actually opened it, that would help. So obviously I can just add levels, so that's added 2 new waves to it, a time between the waves. I can also add more spawn points, so they spawn in different locations, so it's nice and flexible, and you can also add new enemy types on the bottom too, so it's nice and flexible for the dev to go in, make a new level, move the spawn points, add new enemies, stuff like that, add new rounds so the level's longer, so it's nice and flexible, and it's allowed me to obviously make quite unique levels very quickly. That was my ultimate goal for that one. So it's just a lot of spawning code basically and like running through. I've taken you through the Facebook one. This is the leaderboard one, obviously using Loot Locker's SDK, runs through, and then obviously this is where it submits the score. It submits your name, which is either your Facebook profile or your username at the time, and then also submits your currently saved level, and submits that, and obviously this is the bit where it adds it to the UI, so it gets the score list, and then each result is made into a UI element down here. Well, what should we do next? The shop controller, each item is a struct, and then obviously once a button is pressed, this is setting up the shop UI, and then it checks obviously if you already have the items once it's reloaded and stuff like that. And then obviously it takes away the gold of X amount depending on how much it costs. This is the player save. So this is the level dictionary to point what level the player is going to next. This was just nice and easy to add. Obviously the more levels the more complex that would get, and Could probably make it like a struct instead of a dictionary. Um, this is obviously just all the saving, so there's gold. This is where it saves all the stats, so it saves the move speed, the health, the radius, the gun list, and like both guns. All of that gets saved. This is saving it to the file, so this is the gun values getting changed into the serialized, and this is the deserialization of it. So we will do the weapon unlock box. So the weapon unlock uses cards. So if I go to the gun cards, so they use cards. All of these variables go in here, the bullets they fire, the speed they move at, all of that stuff, and each one is obviously different. Basically it makes it nice and easy to add new guns. You can just duplicate that, and then the weapon unlock box just looks straight into this file path and adds all of them that are all there, which makes it nice and simple to add guns and unique firing modes. Obviously there's some coding that needs to be done on behalf of the bullets, so the rocket fires a totally different bullet and it has a different reaction when hitting. So if you want to do that, obviously you'd have to create those functions. The UI animations, so I made a custom editor for this one just so I could have a lot of access to a lot of different variables. So basically the UI animation scrolls in from the bottom using a plugin called LeanTween, which is a really small plugin that just moves stuff using curves. I use it as the backgrounds, and all the objects are attached to that. And I use it obviously to help with loading and deloading scenes and making that try and look seamless. The character health is really boring, it's just obviously checking character health. It does have haptics, so when the player takes damage, it vibrates. Obviously it plays a sound at critical damage and just plays one when it's obviously taking normal damage. This is the item shop controller, just gets, obviously if you already own the item, when you reload the page it obviously needs to display that, so that does that there. This is the gun card, so obviously they all fire kind of differently, so we've got different types of shotgun, circular, rocket launcher fires through this, but it all links back to this bullet instantiation script, which I will take you to now, which all fire a bullet slightly differently, but they've got lots of variables going into them, so damage, range, bullet velocity, stuff like that. Let's close that one. The bullet, obviously it's really nice and interesting, and also the upgrades are done through here, and there's either multipliers or reducers depending on if you want the fire rate to go higher or lower, stuff like that. Apart from that, everything else is pretty simple, but obviously I've had a lot of fun making this project. I kind of wish I had more time to make more AI and more levels, and I think I will in the future. I'm really impressed with how the vertical prototype gave me such inspiration for the main game. A lot of the code, so the movement and the aiming script, all came over for that, and is really helpful. Obviously, I've had to polish it with the UI and stuff. I would have loved to have a consistent graphics sort of setting throughout. I obviously am not an artist, so I used a lot of online assets, and they don't all look the same art style. So in the future, I'd love to be able to grab an artist and take all of their art and stuff like that, and have proper animations and stuff like that. That would really polish the game. But what I think I've come up with is fundamentally a good project, but obviously missing some of the art polish and some of the just art magic. So I'm hoping that you enjoy the game. I've enjoyed the project, and thank you.